Racism, it's not just a comment or somebody said it out of anger to you. It can break someone emotionally, mentally and physically.
One of the experience I can recall quite vividly was as a probation officer. I was the court duty officer at one of the magistrates' courts in Nottinghamshire, and I recall quite clearly, as a black man, I was the only black professional in that setting, to be quite honest. As a black man walking into court, suit, tie, briefcase, a load of legal files and documentation and stuff which I had to carry for my work, and being stopped at the entrance by the usher and being asked, which court I was in, and I says, well, I'm in court 1. And the usher looked at his defendant's list, and said, well, your name's not on the list. Are you sure you're in court 1? And I said, yes, I'm in court 1. And then he went away to the back of the court officers and came back with another list. And this list is what we used to call a floater. And it's the list that's been updated overnight. So he came back with that list. He says, no, you're not on this list. And I then had to say to him at that point, because I knew where he was going, at that point I says, I'm the duty probation officer, I'm not a defendant.
But my hard part is when my son experienced it 3 years ago. He's a disabled child, fancy a girl, an English girl, and girl's mom did not let the girl come to her house because Sunny's an Asian boy and the relationship could not carry on, and my boy wanted to peel the skin off, and because he wanted a white skin, he didn't want an Asian skin. So that was the most hard part of my life. I didn't know what to do in that situation. Since from last 2 to 3 years, I work in a supermarket, working this from years and years. But from last 2-3 years, the way Brexit being told to the people that, sooner that we come out of EU, all the black and Asian people gonna go back home. That's how I've been told by the customer at my workplace. My very recent one, I've been told I need to go back to my mud hut. What I'm doing here.
I think that the kind of stuff that we used to see in the past in terms of the National Front and things like that, they were quite, and I use the term overt in their political perspective or views. They were quite overt. It's white people were superior to blacks and therefore blacks should go and they should stay. What we're seeing now from the far right is they're not using that clear-cut definition anymore. So it's not just about the skin colour, it's about going to people and saying to them, because of this group of people, you are having to suffer this. And whether that be jobs, housing, social services, education, they're putting it onto a certain category or group of people. And I don't think it's even so much the colour of that group of people that's the narrative. It's about the fact that they're there, and that's why you can't access the service that you used to access. And I think people are buying into that because on the face of it, that would appear to be the case, and I think that's what's quite dangerous with the new narrative that's been set by the far right.
My very first officer is Parish Patel, really. So he came to my store to do my disciplinary, and we go along and talking about shop steward. I didn't even know that at that time what shop steward meaning is. But anyway, I became a shop steward, and the support I got it from the union throughout 17 years in the union, and I never look back. I sit on the Regional Women's Committee, National Women's Committee. I'm an executive member for Food, Drink and Agriculture. So the network is there. So the help and support I got it from the union, from Diana Holland, from Parish, even Len. The information comes to us. We put it on the union board, and like recently Black History Month, I put all the stuff on the union board. So all my colleagues are aware what's exactly happening in the union.
I can see certainly within this region where BME staff, BME activists and members are beginning to have an impact. We're beginning to make some advances with the support of the wider Unite family in terms of addressing certain issues and having more of a say in terms of what happens to us as a group of people, but people in a wider context within the union, within our workplaces.